All right, FinX was loud this week, but loud does not mean tradable. The goal here is simple. Find the names people are actually talking about, separate real catalysts from hype, and then take those names back to the chart to see if there's a clean setup. This week chatter is concentrated around big tech earnings, a few momentum names, and a couple of names where the story may be bigger than the move. So let's sort the signal from the noise. So the process here is idea discovery only. I'm looking at recent FinX chatter, filtering for stock names above $5. I don't touch penny stocks. So looking at which names are actually being mentioned and then separating real catalysts from low quality hype. So popularity gets a name on the radar. Price, volume, opening range, ACD, EMAs, flag, setups, technical analysis stuff, and risk, managing risk, decide whether it is tradable. Okay. So actually a good majority of these, I just did my weekly analysis review. I already went over them, so I'm not going to go over them again. Go watch my other analysis. I said basically, I'm not touching these names this week. Yes, they're popular in FinX right now, but I'm not touching them. I'm not touching them before earnings because I think they ran up before earnings. I think just like Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. What happened? Why are you not loading, bro? Netflix, there we go. It ran up to earnings, and then what happened? Gap down a good 10% on earnings. I don't think that is impossible for these names too. I think it would be healthy, as a matter of fact. These bottoms are most likely in, and so they have made a big move. I would look for Microsoft around 390. That's basically the anchor VWAP from this low. I would start buying even long term, honestly. Not financial advice. This is never financial advice, but this is what I would think of for potential. Right? Apple again, earnings this week. Apple looks pretty solid. Long-term consolidation here, kind of wedging higher highs and higher lows. We have an equal high here now, and we just need a little pullback. Maybe it pushes even more and then pulls back to this downtrend line. If you breakout downtrend line, breakout traders for a breakout and retest of the downtrend line. EMAs are up. Short term, moderate term, long term, look good, look solid. Mac Minis, they're sold out. People just crave iPhone and AI. It's part of the AI trade. Google, again, super strong name, near all-time highs, had a strong run up to earnings. I'm not touching it before earnings. This is specifically trading. Okay, this is specifically short-term momentum trading. You get in, you find your trade, you execute your trade, and you let the trade work, and then you get out. This is not sandbagging. This is not I held through earnings, through a binary event, and then I gap down, and now I'm a bag holder. There's none of that stuff. I highly recommend you do not hold positions through earnings. Meta, same thing, super strong name, undercut these lows here, and then consolidated, got tight underneath, popped back in, and it's just been rip roaring ever since. You can kind of say this is bull flagged to the short-term 8 EMA. We get a nice little volume pump on Friday, and it looks like it could continue into Monday or Tuesday. And just be mindful, Wednesday is earnings. Amazon, absolute monster, rockets to all-time high. This is pretty cool, good stuff. Now, same thing. I honestly, probably because of earnings last week, that's why this was on, and it gapped down. It's down 18% on earnings day. This actually might be a pretty decent trade to fill the gap down. Let me just fill that in here for you. You can go here to there. I'm gonna change that red, something like that. We might have a gap fill underway, but overall, I don't think it looks that good. Maybe it consolidates and finds a bid and holds this, but equal highs here, technically a little bit lower than that high. I have nothing to say about it. SNDK has been an absolute monster, continues to be a monster. I've been saying, hey, this is going to be a good short one day. I'm not right yet. Consolidating to the 50 EMA, broke out, failed. Opposite end ranges target, and then broke out again. Once this second breakout, it has been done, hasn't looked back at all. Time corrected, which is a stronger market versus a price correction for a weaker market, but it's still strong. To the 8 short-term EMA, and now it's just pushing even higher. It does have earnings this week, though, on the 30th, so be mindful. MRNA, I don't know why Moderna, maybe they had some sort of some sort of earnings, or no, not even earnings, some sort of probably medication or news or something like that. That's been flying around. It's a chop zone. I don't know why you waste your time on it. GLW Corning, part of the AI infrastructure, glass fiber. This has been a monster breakout from this consolidation. Huge pullback to the 50 EMA consolidated, and now it's pushing even higher. This is a very strong name. I do think this is the name you should be paying attention to. Other names, so that's that. Those are like the top names that were kind of circulating. Was that 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 names on X this week, mostly because of earnings. CRWV, CoreWeave, AI build out trade. Okay, downtrend line break. Look for the retest. Confluence with the 200, confluence with the 50. It'll be a higher low versus this low. You can set an anchored VWAP of right here. Let's see where that goes. I'm going to set a alert on that anchor VWAP to alert me to potentially buy that. And we'll see what happens there. Nice little pullback. PL, Planet Labs. So if you're a believer in space, in data centers in space, in the AI build out and infrastructure, in solar energy, et cetera, where the future is going, or believed to be going, we'll actually see what happens. But space is a big thing. Planet Labs is part of that. Mara looks like it is actually turning around. Pretty interesting. Intel, I do think you should be paying attention to Intel. Obviously, all right. Nice big flat base, breaks out, tags the 8 EMA. Unfortunately, it did it into the earnings. Huge gap up. Now I would wait to see where this resolves. SMCI, that's just full of scams. I feel like it's scam every 6 months in that thing. I wouldn't touch it. Dell, pretty solid look here. Base, breakout, retest, and it rips from the retest. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. AEHR, absolute monster. 253% in 18 trading days. Has done nothing but go straight up. I don't chase names like these, but these are names you need to keep on your watch list for potential trades, right? That's what they're there for. They're momentum trades. If you're a long-term investor in this stuff, then don't look at it. Just hold in what you believe in, and good luck. FSLY had been a monster and finally found some selling, right? Are you shocked? Yeah, I don't think you should be. Let's just say from this close, I will include this gap up. Let's go to the highs here. Within 38 trading days, 277%. Not as much as AEHR, but still a monster. CEIN, very strong name. Pay attention to LITE. Looks like it's getting very tight. Looks like it is about to go, honestly. I would also look at LITE this week. Another infrastructure build out name. CCL, whatever. ARM, very strong name. Look at the breakout base, breakout. Okay. I'm not going to be shaded. This actually looks like a pretty decent 80-20 name. I'm going to set an alert at the 237.68 high. And what I would like is it for actually to open up within this range, push higher, and then come back in. And then it would be a short setup. Even if it gapped up higher, pushed higher, and then came back in within Friday's range, I think it's still a short setup. Ideally, you gotta make sure you manage risk though. MSTR getting tight underneath this prior resistance area, 200 EMA. It's starting to flatten around 205. This bottom most likely is in. We'll see. Tesla, looking for that to hold. PLTR, I went over again in my weekly market review video about a trade setup there. Go watch it. AMPX looks pretty solid. Base, breakout, retest, rip higher, right? You see this pattern over and over and over and over again. SOC, that was hot a few weeks ago simply because it opened up because of energy and the war and blah, 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 has done nothing but, pop and then sell off. NVIDIA, nice pop, went over it already. AMD went over it already in my other video. Micron went over it already in my other video. BIAF, this was huge a few weeks ago. I forget why, but look what it did. Pop and then drop. It's just a bleeder. I would not touch this. NBIS, Nebius. I am actually looking for a long-term position in this. Nice break base, then breakout, absolutely rips. Now we got to find out where this falls and finds a bid, and then we have to see if this continues on higher. But really, it broke. It's AI infrastructure. Short term, MAs are up. 8 is now curling down. 21's up, 50's up, 200's up. So this is a very volatile name. Just know what you're getting into. If you're going to trade volatile names, expect volatility. IREN looks pretty solid. A little sloppy though. ASTS, that actually doesn't look too good. This could be a potential support buy. You could risk it against a 71.85, 71.84, call it, just below. If it takes it out, you are out. Honestly, though, I don't think it looks very good. I wouldn't touch it. Rocket Lab, this is a better look. Here's an oopsies, a undercut and rally, right? Undercut this level. Nobody else came out, rallied to the opposite side, end range break. Now it's coming down and retesting this. I would look for the retest. We would have some nice confluence at 77 area with the 21 EMA. Looks pretty solid, honestly. Let's continue on. Hood, I already went over it in my other video. Go watch it. GEV, GE Vernova, pretty solid. Base right here. Breakout, tagged, earnings, ripped. You can set a acre VWAP to the earnings and watch how that respects it if it does. But really, it's only it's hitting all-time highs. Super strong name. You can see the nice base here, breakout. In case you cannot see it, this is what I'm talking about. Base. Okay, there's an also cup right there. Chopped and then started to rip. So GEV looks pretty solid. COHR, another very strong name. Actually, this looks pretty good. A couple of nice bottoming tails here. You can risk against 326.22, 1 cent below Thursday's low. It's at the 8 EMA, right? So if you're a trend trader, this is a EMA trader. This would be a decent area to potentially risk against. Rivian, continue. I call this thing the heartbreaker. This thing is just choppy, sloppy, whatever. HWM, nothing to write home about. KTOS getting smoked right now. Not the best look. This isn't in an interesting area here. Otherwise, it might go down to 55. Coin looks like it might be trying to turn around. VRT, Vertiv Holdings. I kind of forgot about this dude. Look at that. Tagged to 50 EMA. I was watching it on the earnings and I was actually expecting to break out over here, but obviously it failed. But what it could not do is fill this earnings gap. And so obviously it continued to find support in that area, that 230 area, and now it's just rip roaring. Looks pretty solid. PayPal, I think this was a deep investment play. Yeah, you can see I was saying, hey, this is starting to kind of have a rounding bottom. Got a nice push out of that base and made a nice move, had a little pullback. It's at the short-term EMA. This could be heading to it already gap filled, so that's good. It might be heading to 57. PayPal, 57 bucks. LAAR, Lithium Argentina, sitting at the top of this base here. Again, go back, find bases, right? What happens when bases break? A good majority of the time, not every time, but a majority of the time, right? You can also say, hey, look, this undercut this level right here. Boom, bada bing, undercut, popped up, tried it, could not break that low. And then what did we do? We rip roared up. Let's go to these recent highs. It broke those recent highs, held it, and looks solid. LAR looks good to continue higher. FLNC, Fluence, don't touch it. Not financial advice, but looks like trash. USAR, no, I don't like it. Target, it's trending. It's nice. It's, nothing, not doing anything wrong here. Nice little phase 1 consolidation here. Broke out. Now it's going into a stage 2 uptrend. RKT, Rocket Companies. This is just sloppy. I would go Rocket Lab, honestly. LRCX breaking into all-time highs, selling off a little bit, or having some selling. I wouldn't say selling off. Zeta, not doing anything. ONDS, not doing anything. A couple of bottoming tails here. Looks pretty decent. Low trend, low volume here. Downtrend, right, on the sell-off. That's what we look for. Let me make that clear. Low trend, right there. Okay. And that is paired with the downtrend. Okay. Now, what we're going to look for is high volume like this on an up day, right? To get the ideally to maybe even break this level right here. That's what I would be looking for. Set a higher low versus this bar here and then pop on through. That's mostly, it seems like it's going to happen. Bloom Energy. This has been choppy, sloppy, hard to trade, honestly, but that's comes with volatility. You can see this high volume day. You can set an anchor VWAP to that, see how it respects it. You see that volume is drying up here. We do have earnings, so do not hold between a binary event. Again, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, AI, chips, build out, infrastructure. What else more do I need to say, right? All right, so those are FinX names. Again, I already went through the top FinX of technically the week. I will continue to do these as time able. I should have a more stable schedule now, and I look forward to you guys liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting below, etc. I'll see you next week.